Hey guys, welcome back to Four Towers Films and another Young and the Restless recap. Today for Thursday, March 14th, 2019. And again, if you live in the United States, this will be your March 15th. Oh, this will be your Monday's episode. So we begin at Nick's house, and he's talking to Billy on the phone. And he asks Billy, have you found Ray yet? And Billy says no, that he's still unavailable. And Nick basically says to him, we'll get on it, but we don't have a lot of time. We need to get this conviction overturned. And more or less kind of chop, chop, hop to it. And Summer comes in. She's all excited about her wedding. She's happy and she's glad that both her mom and dad are going to be there. But Nick's still a little bit kind of concerned that the fact that it's so fast, like why the need to rush into this if you're so meant for each other. And Summer's like, well, yeah, sure, it might seem fast to you, but not for Kyle and I. We've been in love pretty much since we were teenagers, and that's kind of how things go, and that it's right for them. And Nick says, fine, and and he just kind of doesn't really like the fact that it's the next day after the verdict came in and they're still kind of worrying about the women. And Summer says, well, maybe this will boost everybody's spirits. It'll help. It'll be a positive thing for everybody. Something happy to look forward to and to think about. Phyllis shows up at Nick's house, and Nick's like, I thought you were going to meet Summer at the club. And Phyllis is like, I thought it'd be nice to help my daughter with her makeup and help her with her dress. And Nick goes, yeah, you could do all that at the club. But Summer comes in and squeals and hugs her and all that sort of thing and is happy that she's there. And Phyllis wants to present a united front and not think about themselves and their feud, but think about their daughter on her special day and support her instead of fighting with each other. Set aside the anger for the day. At the same time, Jack finds Kyle laying on the couch in the Abbott house, and he's like, better get ready. Your wedding is soon. And Kyle's like, I got plenty of time. And Jack's like, you'll be late for your wedding if you don't hurry up and get ready. And Jack kind of senses, he's not really that pleased to go through with this. And he tells him, you don't have to do this. Like, just say the word and I can make it go away like that. And Kyle says, oh, you have no idea how much I want this to happen. And that it's very important to me that I do this. And it's definitely what he wants more than anything else in the world is to do this, more than he could possibly know. Jack says, he loves him and he just wants what's best for him. And Kyle says he loves him too. So Jack again tells him, got to get ready. And he's heading out and he'll see him at the wedding. And so he leaves. Tessa and Mariah are sitting at Crimson Lights and lamenting what's going on. The trial verdict, and Mariah's worried about Sharon and also about Kyle and about going to this wedding. And she's been trying to get a hold of him, but he won't call her back or answer her texts. And Tessa's like, she doesn't know what really the whole reason why Kyle's even doing this in the first place. And Mariah can't say. And Mariah, when she's talking about Sharon, feels that, she doesn't deserve this. She's a good person. That she doesn't deserve to go to jail for trying to help out a friend and trying to protect her friend from somebody. And she needs to be home with Faith and just to be there, for Christian and for the rest of the family. Anna comes in and Devon's on his computer doing some work and asks how his morning was. And Devon goes, oh, well, nice that you're talking to me again. And Anna says, well, yeah, sure, after you betrayed me. by checking up on her and her credit report, going behind her back. And Devon goes, "No, I'm just trying to help you. It wasn't because I was out to get you or because I didn't trust you. I'm just, I know you're a good person. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. And if you're in trouble, I want to help you out of it." But Anna, goes off and saying, "You need to respect me, and I'm not always going to say things. I'm not going to be an open book, more or less. And, just I'll stay out of things. Don't go behind my back and do that, that I've earned my money, and you didn't like the money you gave me was not charity. I earned it for the songs." And so they're arguing back and forth about that. And Devon says to her, she's the one person he thought he could trust that would tell him the truth no matter what. She was like, "Well, I still am. This doesn't change that. You checking my credit score and stuff doesn't change the fact that you can still trust me." And she just wants me to back off, that he betrayed her trust. And Devon apologizes for that and agrees that, that he has issues of trust because some people have betrayed him in the past, and he really shouldn't have taken it out on her. She's a good person, and he won't do that again. He just wanted to help her. He saw a need and wanted to be there for his sister. They hug and they agree that things are going to go back to the way they were. Summer and Nick and Phyllis arrive at the club, and Summer's looking around, doesn't see Kyle, and starts to get nervous that, maybe he's going to stand her up or something. And Phyllis assures her that no, of course he's not going to stand her up. Anything could be a reason that he's late. He'll show up. Don't worry about it. Victor comes over and hugs her and says she looks beautiful, and, he's marrying an abbot. And is this the right thing? Of course, they're meant to be, that he's the love of her life and all that, And he says he better take care of you and look after you and not hurt your feelings or anything like that. Summer is sure that he won't do that. Nick comes over and talks to Victor about the verdict and that this is awful and what are they going to do. And Victor tells him that he's got to call into the governor's office, and he's going to fight this. He's going to do whatever he can to get this overturned and get the women released. And, he's not going to let this go. And he notices Phyllis there. And Nick says, don't start anything with Phyllis because she's Summer's mother and she has the right to be there for her daughter's wedding, and Summer wants her there. Victor says, "Don't worry, he's not gonna start anything with Phyllis. Don't worry about that. It's gonna be okay." Mariah and Tessa come up and tell Summer that she looks beautiful, and Summer says, "Thank you." And look around and say, "Where's Kyle? Is he gonna come?" And Tessa more or less says, "Is he standing her up?" And Summer takes offense to that, and says that don't like read anything into it. He's just more or less kind of detained at the moment, but he'll be there. She walks away and she's worried. You can tell she's worried. She calls Kyle and says to him, basically warns him that, if you betray me, you don't show up, bad things happen to people who break their promises. So in other words, show up or I won't have the surgery. Summer also runs into Jack and Carrie, and Jack assures her that when he left the house, Kyle was getting dressed, and he's sure he's on his way. He doesn't know what's keeping him, but, don't worry, he'll be here, so don't worry about that too much. Summer worries to Phyllis. She's going around worrying everybody, and everybody reassures her that, don't worry, Kyle's going to be there. Jack goes over to Victor and says, he's sorry for the verdict, and he realizes how hard this must be on the family. And Victor thanks him and said this is a travesty, and talk turns to the wedding. And Victor's like, oh, so I guess we're going to be one big happy family now. And Jack's, I wouldn't go that far. And Victor says to Jack he's looking forward to being a father figure to Kyle again. And Jack's like, I don't think that's going to be necessary. And then Victor's more or less, if he even shows up for his own wedding. Abby and Arturo show up. And Arturo asks her, I don't really know what's going on here. And if he's doing this to save Summer's life, then I really don't want to mess this up. And I hope you don't say anything either. And Abby promises him that she's going to keep quiet. She's not going to say anything, but, she just doesn't agree with this. But she won't say anything really to benefit Lola. So for Lola's sake, she won't say anything or cause a scene or anything like that. Kyle shows up and everybody's like, wow, where were you? You're late. And, kind of admonishing him for being late. And he asks for Summers, and she hears him, and I'm over here. So he goes over, but she makes him turn away from her so that he can't see her in her dress. And he's like, okay. And she tells him, did you check your voicemail messages? And he says, well, no, I didn't have time. And he goes, why? Did you think I wasn't going to show up? I was going to stand you up. And she goes, oh, no. Well, maybe. Just delete it. Don't listen to it. He goes, I told you, I gave you my word I'd be here. I'm here. Don't worry about it, kind of thing. So the wedding starts. Phyllis and Nick walk Summer down the aisle. They go through their vows that they wrote themselves. And Summer goes on saying that, she feels like she's loved him for a million years, that they've kind of been in and out of each other's orbit for, since they met. But that's kind of how you know that you're meant for each other. And they keep circling back to each other. And so here they are again. And Kyle goes on saying that he's never met a more passionate, more loving, more generous kind of woman, and driven and all that. And that more or less that he wasn't prepared to fall in love. He wasn't expecting it. And yet it makes sense because of how they kind of mesh with each other and that sort of thing. And so they exchange rings, and he said that's the reason that he was late. He was picking up her ring, and which she loves. And he says that he'll always love her and treasure her. And they're married, and they have their first kiss as husband and wife. During the wedding, Lola's there. She wakes up, and she's alone. And she reaches over and tries to call, or reach for the phone to call him. She gets his voicemail and says, where are you? I thought you were going to come back to visit me again yesterday, but you didn't come back. I miss you like crazy. So, call me back, or better yet, come and see me. I'd like to see you. And that she loves him. At the end of the wedding, everybody's milling around and talking, and Abby asks Mariah what she thinks of all this, and Mariah kind of says, kind of non-committal in her answer, more or less. She's happy if Kyle is, kind of thing. And Abby's like, not really a ringing endorsement. And but of course Mariah can't say really what's up. And Arturo and Abby leave because they want to go see Lola. And Mariah asks them to please um, give her her love, which they agree to do. Mariah talks to Kyle and says, um, are you going to um, go see Lola? And Kyle says, no, he can't do that. And even though he wants to, he can't go near her right now because of summer and it won't look right, kind of thing. Like people will figure it out and they don't want that at the moment. Um, so like he said, he'd do anything for Lola, even if it means more or less spending the rest of his life with Summer. He's prepared to do that. And Mariah's basically saying that, she hopes it works out for everybody, for Kyle, Lola, Summer, that'll turn out for the best. At the moment, she's not sure how that's going to be, but she hopes he'll be happy either way. Abby's talking to Victor before they leave and is talking about the verdict. And Victor assures her he's going to do whatever he can to get this overturned and that he's going to fight it and have the women released. Phyllis is talking to Carrie and thanks her for being there at the wedding, that she doesn't have a lot of friends. In fact, pretty much Carrie's it. She doesn't really have any other friends. And Carrie's like, you don't have to thank me for that. I mean, that's more or less what friends do. They're there for each other. But she's just happy that she's her friend. She can count on her. And Carrie has that weird expression on her face. Well, we all know she's kind of doing stuff behind her back. Victor goes over to Kyle, welcome to the family, and offers him a position at Newman because he's saying, that Phyllis is at Jabot, at the head of Jabot now, that kind of blocks him from really going up into the ranks. And Kyle refuses and says, no, I'm fine. I'm going to stay where I am. And Victor says, you let me know if you change your mind. Door's always open as long as you treat my granddaughter right. Kyle says, that's the plan. And Victor says, good to hear it. Carrie goes back to where Jack's sitting and says she has an intel about Jabot that he's going to want to hear. So they go sit at one of the corner tables and she tells him that Phyllis is planning to block Ashley's products from coming to the market. And Jack asks her how she planned to do that. And Carrie says she doesn't know right now. She won't tell her, but when she finds out more, she'll let him know. And Jack says, thank you. This arrangement is being very beneficial to us. And Carrie says, I can think of some ways that you can thank me. And so they get up to leave, go home or wherever they're going. Summer tells Kyle that she booked a room for them because the next day she's having the surgery and they won't really have a honeymoon, that it was just a cover story to hide the fact that she's Lola's donor. And she wants to celebrate as much time together as they can before then. And so they tell everybody goodbye, and Kyle's kind of like, it's a little early to leave. But Summer's like, no, it's fine. I want to spend time with just you. Everybody will understand. So they go up to the room. It's all champagne, this big heart of flowers on the bed. And he asks her, did she do this? And she says, nope, no, I didn't do that. And so she says, I understand that, the vows for you weren't real, but I meant what I said in my vows, that it's going to take time for you to get over Lola and to really bond back with me. But she says that I truly believe that if you give this a chance, that we can have a good a relationship, a good marriage, one that we're meant to have. And she says that she's worried about surgery. She might not make it. This might be the last night she's alive. And her parents don't even know she's going through this by herself. And Kyle assures her that no, he's going to be there with her every step of the way. She's not alone. She's not going to go through this by herself. He's going to be there from the moment they roll her out to the moment they roll her back in and she wakes up. And she kisses him and they begin to make love. When Jack's away from the table, Carrie pulls out her cell phone and she texts her mysterious partner saying the war with Jabot has begun. And in the hospital, Lola is by herself, staring at the phone, waiting for Kyle's call. Well, that's it for today. Y&R recap for March 14th. Your Monday's episode if you're in the United States. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe so you don't miss another recap. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I upload the next time. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.